Hey guys, we are live. What is going on out there this afternoon? Brent Abel here, webtennis.com, with another afternoon of let's do a little tennis mindset training. I'm changing the title from tennis mental toughness because mental toughness for me just never really, I just never got it. I just thought it was like, all right, you got to be Mr. Stoic. You can't show any emotion. You can't do anything. You got to be completely the Iceman. And for me, it just really was just one big effort of just white knuckling my way through matches. And all it did was I just got so frustrated doing that. And so it really never made any sense to me. So I'm going to change it to tennis mindset training. Look, before we get into this, a couple of things. Um, Hey, Mark, good to have you here. Thanks for hanging out today. That's great. What's going on? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this every day. I'm doing this every afternoon, Pacific time zone, 2:30 in the afternoon here, 5:30 East Coast, and all those different hours in between the different time zones. I assume that, once in a while I'll have to change up the time, but if you're on my email list, you will get notified of that. If you're not on my email list, I want to give you a little bribe to get on there. Just going over to webtennis.com and dropping a first name and an email address, and you'll get access to my between points routine, a total game changer for me over the years, especially this last year in 2023. And I'm going to detail for it. It's a private video, but it's free. It goes through the 4 different steps that I habituate. You got to be disciplined to doing it. And when you do, you just seem to get clarity, not only how you're going to start the next point, but that residual effect on the clarity carries over into the point itself where you've got better clarity on shot choice. So again, if you're not on my email list, going over there, I won't spam you. I won't, I will let you know once or twice a day what's going on with these videos. But other than that, yeah, no spam. So what's the messaging for today? Well, look, the messaging for today is how delayed gratification builds confidence. And for me, I used to be in this thing where I'd work and I just work, I'd work, and I would expect the results to happen right away. And I'd be really I'd be so tense about it. I'd work like a dog, really be intense about working. And then the very next day trying to measure, well, is yesterday's work now? I mean, it should be showing up, right? I worked so hard. And it never really worked that way for me. It was the expectations were so great that I really got in the way of improvement. And what I've come to learn over the years, and especially in the last couple of years, there's a guy out there named James Clear, Clear. He's written a great book. I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe he came out with a book titled Atomic Habits. And it's all based around small little habits that are good habits. And one of the things he said, and I always have to explain this to people, he says that the results and outcomes that you want are a lagging measure of your habits, either good habits or bad habits. And so delayed gratification just dovetails perfectly into that, in that if you work like a dog today on your slice backhand, your underspin backhand, and for some reason tomorrow it just isn't perfect, well, it's because all of these things take time to get into your body, into your subconscious, into your brain in such a way that if you believe in delayed gratification, that if you believe in that if you put in the work that you're going to get the result you want, it's a lagging measure. It takes time. And that if you do it once in a while, there's no measurement. There's no it's just not going to show up on its own. So what I've come to believe and what I've come to know is that if I put in the right work and I put it in all the time, that it's inevitable that that result or that outcome I want is going to happen. And so, and again, I'm not explaining the lagging measure, the James Clear lagging measure very well, but that's really, I mean, to me, it's very clear now. Yeah, James Clear, thank you. It's very clear to me now that I no longer have to force a result. I no longer have to be in control of the outcome. And for me, it was just practice. I'm practicing. If I keep doing it, I don't know when, but it's going to show up. And so delayed gratification is really a big deal. It's a huge deal. And I used to kind of go, whatever. Sounds like a Berkeley woo-woo. I was born and raised in Berkeley. I should know this stuff cold, right? Didn't really work that way for me. I was looking for results way too fast. So the message today is that delayed gratification, if you believe in it and you trust it, it's conditioned upon you having the right information, and that when things don't go right for you a couple of days down the road, even though you've been working like a dog, it's so easy to just say, well, this doesn't work because I'm not getting the result I want as fast as I want it. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go look on YouTube for something else. I'm going to go find, because there's got to be someone out there, right, who's got the answer. There's got to be someone out there who's really got the magic bullet, right? I mean, there's got to be someone who used to be in the tour who could give me something. Well, what if they were on the tour? Believe me, they hit more tennis balls. I mean, I believe at this point, I believe the guys like Alcaraz and Sinner probably hit more tennis balls in their short little careers than we have in half of our, we've been 75 years old. I'm playing tennis for, 65 plus years. How many tennis balls have I hit? I don't know. But I've got to believe those guys are on the court 3, 4, 5 hours a day, ball after ball, and they've got a short little, they've been playing tennis for 10 years? So they're going to tell you, repetition, you got to do it over and over. You can't force the outcome. And when you don't force the outcome, I think it comes to you faster. So, that's the messaging. And I think for me as well, with this year that I had in 2023, never had results like that ever before. And part of it was trusting during the match, in close matches, in tough matches, in playing for a national title, whether it's singles, whether it's doubles, just trusting that if I don't force the outcome, if I don't force the result, if I don't get ahead of myself in terms of, well, gosh darn it, it's 5-3, I can't let this guy in. I've got to do this, because if I do that, then I'm going to win the set. And if I win the set, then this is going to happen. And I just, lack of better term, which is just stay in the moment. I just trusted that if I just keep the workmanlike attitude, point after point after point, no matter what just happened, if I just keep doing that and trust that delayed gratification, if I keep doing the right things, not a guarantee. Never anything's a guarantee, because we can't control everything. We can't control when the guy hits the lucky let cord on 2 straight points. We can't control that, right? We can't control other things, that no matter what great habits you've got. But I'm telling you, if it's garbage in, garbage out, in this case, it could be, I want that result right now. I got to have it right now. I'm going to force it. That's garbage in, and the result's going to be garbage out. But if you keep doing the right thing in the match and trust from point to point that you're okay with that delayed gratification, that there's a real good chance it's going to happen. Well, for me this year, that's exactly what happened. So, I probably didn't articulate that too well today, but I think you get the gist. So look, guys, every day at 2:30 Pacific, we're to do some mindset training, and I'm going to give you a little nugget here and there of what's worked for me. I do offer a course, full-blown course on the 5 habits that I've come up with, 5 daily habits on and off the court that I habituated over starting about 18 months ago, that I know contributed, that was the difference maker for me during 2023. And I'm not going to stop. I believe in it so much now, I'm not going to stop. I've got a full course. The way to get started, though, is I want to give you, as I mentioned earlier, is that free video on what is part of the course. Part of one of the habits is the between points routine. If you think about it, 80% of the match is spent not playing points. 80% is spent either on the bench during side changes, but most of the time between points. And if you don't manage that time really well, if you don't believe in delayed gratification between points, if you force things, bad stuff happens. So you've really got to come up with a 4-part, at least what I think is a 4-part between points routine, which really helped me habituate it, discipline yourself to use it, discipline yourself to keep using it between points. I think you'll find that you're going to get better results, especially in those close matches that we all get into. And again, just go over to webtennis.com, drop in a first name and email address, and you'll get access to that free but private course. Now, the other thing too is you may not be aware if you're not on my email list that I do every morning at 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. I've got a show. I've got what's the right shot, and it really the premise of this is I pick a point typically from one of my matches, but also like tomorrow, I'm going to tee up something from the great Glenn Busby, the Aussie, who's a couple age groups behind me, fortunately. But we're going to look at some of his points that he played out here in the National 60 Hard Courts a few years ago. But I like to pick points, and the premise is two things. Number one, shot choice. Where do you want the ball to land over there? And then number two, where do you want to move to next on the court? We do a little bit of swing tech on it, maybe some mindset stuff and some tactical things. But basically, it's those two things. Where do you want the ball to land over there, and where do you want to move to next? And every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific. That's what the goal is, and we'll see if we can't keep that going. Guys, any comments, any questions? Would love to read them down below in the comments area. Always love to respond to those, or you can send me a private email just at brent@webtennis.com. All right, boys and girls, that is it for me today. Let's go back and watch some football. And as always, come on now, get out there, help someone else. Have a great day, guys. See you again next time.